Good morning again, Reverend Pawpaw here, friends and family. Start to talk a little bit about meeting Miss Lisa K. Kimbrough back in 1978. You know, Lisa and I both had pretty troubled teenage years of our life. We did some things that I'm not proud of, both of us, and I had a horrible life, pretty much, from being a little kid and then jumping into teenage years, it went bad. But the highlight of my life is 1978. I was at a Jack in the Box restaurant, and I saw this beautiful little raven-haired girl working in there. And she looked at me, and I winked at her, and she smiled. I could wink both eyes. I always have been able to do that. She said she thought I had mental problems, is why she smiled. And I asked her out. She wanted to meet my cousin, who looked like John Travolta, tall, dark, and handsome. Short, ugly, and blonde wasn't the look she was after, I don't think, but she agreed to go out with me. Well, we couldn't go out. She said I had to meet her parents, so she gave me instructions how to get there, hoping I'd get lost, she told me later. And I made it there and met her parents, and all we could do was sit on the couch and talk in front of her dad and mom, and started going there every day. And her dad liked to watch reruns of The Car That Talks to You. I can't remember the name of that show now. So we didn't really date much. We just went there and sat on the couch, held hands, and watched that show. And if I tried to put my arm around her, her dad would say, "Hey, watch it, watch it." And every time I tried to kiss her, she wouldn't let me kiss her. So one night after our first kiss, it was like 3 months. And I spent $35 that night, which was a lot of money in '78 to spend on a date. And I told her I spent $35. I at least ought to get a kiss goodnight. So she said, "All right, close your eyes." And I puckered up, and she kissed me on the cheek and went in and shut the door. That was my first kiss. Well, that's not true. In the Jack in the Box, when I first met her, I grabbed her and kissed her. And she said, "You're kind of fast, aren't you?" And I said, "I'm a busy guy. I ain't got a lot of time. We going out tonight or what?" That was the way I was. That's called sexual assault now. Don't you boys try anything like that. But that was the thing I did back in the day. But that was the only kiss I got for all the time we dated. We dated about 3 months, from October to after Christmas. And didn't do a whole lot. All she wanted to do was stay home. Knight Rider was the name of the show, and sit there and watch TV with her dad and mom. And we've been married now 45 years, and all Grandma wants to do is sit on the couch and hold hands. She still don't want to go nowhere. That's just who she is, but that's a good thing. So all those years, I fell in love with her. I never loved anybody else. I fell in love with Lisa K. Kimbrough. Just holding her hand, not even getting anything else. So much that I'd drive 100 miles round trip every day to go sit on a couch with her parents and watch a stupid show. And I remember I went to church with her family once and was holding her hand in church. And I told the Lord, I didn't know if I believed him or not, but I said, if you give me this girl to marry, I'll go to church. That was my big commitment. And it wasn't too much after that on Christmas Day, she broke up with me. And she took me in her room and told me, "I just don't love you. You need to find someone who does." And broke my heart. I've never felt such pain in my life as that night, Christmas night. Went out to the park, got a bottle of Jack Daniels, started drinking, and shook my fist at God and cursed him. "I gave you a chance, and what'd you do?" You broke up with me. I took Lisa to my grandma Parnell's house. Took a lot of girls there over the years. She didn't like none of them. But the moment she met Lisa, she liked her right away. And I went there after to see Grandma, and she said, "Where's that pretty little dark-haired girl you brought?" I said, "Oh, she left me, Grandma." Grandma said, "That's the one you're gonna marry. I've been praying." I said, "Oh, you're crazy. She don't want nothing to do with me." But my grandma and her mother, Lisa's mother, both believed that we would stay together and get married. Nobody else did. None of my friends, none of my family, not even Lisa's sisters. But those two ladies, praying women, believed that we would, and we have. And it's been the greatest life I could ever imagine. Being married to Lisa K. Kimbrell, who's now Lisa K. Irwin, and the love for her goes stronger every year. And that's just a little bit of how we met. I'm hoping I can get Miss Lisa to talk a little bit on here too, tell her side of the story. And we'll talk about our marriage another time.